Mark Smith, Terry David Mulligan. Mark Smith is the Senior Vice President in charge of the third floor of Cattle Productions. It really means nothing. But he is brought to town to Vancouver. CIRAC. What is CIRAC?
CIRAC is Canadian Independent Recording Artists in Concert, which is a series of, works out to be 180-some shows of acts from every single corner of this great land of ours, Canada.
The waving fields of wheat and beavers and things.
And beavers and...
How many bands?
There's approximately 37.
All independent recording bands?
Every single one of them independent. That was the criteria. They had to have a recording and they had to be without a major label.
So tell me about some of these bands here. Tell me about Hopping Penguins.
Hopping Penguins are a ska-based band from Toronto.
Dog Food.
Dog Food, hardcore-based band from Halifax.
The Beach Mutants.
Beach Mutants are from Winnipeg, a bunch of goofs from Winnipeg. That's all I can say.
The Misery Goats.
Misery Goats are from Halifax again.
So what you're doing here is just a showcase of a variety of bands from across the country that you think should be seen.
Should be seen by as many people as possible. The reason why we set this up is every time I go traveling across with my tours of DOA or anybody like that, I find everybody's complaining that there's nobody in Vancouver that'll do shows for them. I go to Toronto, people say, oh, what's Vancouver? They never send any bands out this way. So we're trying to create a creative bridge so that these bands can go back, talk about the other bands they played with, and start a word-of-mouth sort of process.
The bottom line is actually if you are coming to Vancouver or Victoria, you have great independent recording acts to watch until the 31st of this month. Take part. This is Terry David Mulligan in Vancouver.
For our first rock flash of the day, joining us is The Rhodes, namely Michael, and he has some more news on FIRA for us.
Yeah, well, do you remember in August, early August this year, the FIRA concerts at Expo were canceled?
Festival of Independent Recording Artists, because
yes.
Slow removed several pieces of their clothing and exposed several bodily parts to the audience. The moon shone early in Vancouver that night.
Anyway, they lived up to their press of being brilliantly outrageous, and that was the end of FIRA. As a result, the independent artists in Vancouver and Victoria and stuff were a little distressed. There was nothing for them to do or whatever until in comes the rescue. Mark Smith and Jay Scott put on CIRAC, Canadian Independent Recording Artists of Canada. And they pulled a whole bunch of bands from all over the country, and they said, look, if we can't do it at Expo, we're going to do it here, and we're going to go big. So, 37 independent bands from all over Canada played at 103 concerts at 6 venues in a week.
Wow. That's a pretty heavy schedule.
Yeah, so check the bags out when you see this piece of tape. Anyway, Terry David Mulligan went out one day and caught up with Jay and Mark and caught as many bands as he possibly could in one night. And there's some tape of that right now.
Jay and Mark, has the CIRAC Festival been as successful as you wanted it to be?
Tenfold over. It's been incredible so far. The crowd's been great. The club owners are falling hand over fist for us. And, beer sales are up. so
one of the main goals of the CIRAC we had was to actually get the bands to meet each other, to have bands play with as many bands from different parts of the country as possible, getting some networking happening that way. And already bands are making plans to play each other's cities, stay with each other, and that's one of the main goals, and it's really worked out well.
Okay, let's talk about some of these bands here. How about IBS?
They're sort of a beach surf band from Saskatoon.
How is this possible?
They sing about surfing on the South Saskatchewan, and they're just, the drummer looks like Fred Flintstone, and it's just a great looking band, great sounding band.
Is a Halifax folk jazz hybrid.
Shuffle Demons are, as their press kit says, jazz beatniks, streetniks.
They don't confine themselves to the stage. They move out through the club. They're on the street while they're playing and then back in the club again. Great crowd response. The crowd will actually follow them out onto the street, dance on the street, and then come back into the club.
Montreal's 39 Steps, they were featured in the last Woody Allen movie. Hannah and her sisters, I think that Woody Allen saw them and said, you guys are great, let's do a movie together. The description for, in terms of music, is very hard-edged pop. It's going to fit very well in a lot of circuits around North America. About $3.
Yeah.
That's about it. But we gained more in respect for a lot of the bands from Canada and possibilities to bring them all back out to Vancouver. We've introduced them to the clubs in Vancouver, so there's absolutely no problem booking any of these bands again anywhere in Canada.
So I think it was a success.
Sounds like a great show.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of fun going out there to all those places anyway. So they have plans for doing it next year.
Right.
And other people who want to do something should be encouraged to, get all these bands together because all that networking was happening and there's more gigs going to come out of this.
Yeah, it shows that even though the worst can happen right off the top, as would happen with Expo 86, you can still get it together and you can put it on at a street level and possibly gain a little more respect and a little more recognition from those bands than you could have in the original venue.
I think so.
I think so, too. Right. Thanks a lot, Mike. Talk to you.